In the quiet village of Kaplong, the small wooden church stood proudly on the top of the hill. Every Sunday morning, whether rains threatened or the sun baked the roofs, Pastor Murray stood behind the pulpit preaching one message louder than all others. In a flash, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet. For the trumpet will sound, the dead will be raised imperishable, and we will be changed. The villagers respected him, though many whispered that he spoke of the trumpet so often that he might start blowing one himself. Pastor Murray was serious, fiery, and dramatic. He raised his hands when he talked about angels, stamped his feet when warning about judgment, and his favorite sermon began with, "When you hear that trumpet is blown, not a man can save you." The congregation nodded every time. But two mischievous boys always had other thoughts. Breo and Dino, 12-year-old cousins known as the Morning Roosters, because they woke up earlier than everyone, usually to cause trouble, were part of the church congregation. One Sunday morning, long before the sun stretched its golden arms across the sky, Breo nudged Dino. "Today is the day," he whispered. Dino grinned. "The trumpet experiment." Breo lifted the shiny brass trumpet they borrowed from the school band. "No, the trumpet church experiment." By 7 a.m., they had climbed the tallest mango tree standing just beside the church. From their leafy throne, they watched as worshippers arrived one by one. "This view is perfect," Dino said, tightening his grip. "And Pastor Murray will hear heaven today," Breo smirked. At exactly 8 o'clock, Pastor Murray stood behind the pulpit, Bible pressed to his chest. "Today," he began, "we speak again of the trumpet blast." The congregation exchanged knowing looks. "As it is written," he continued dramatically, "the trumpet will sound when you least expect it." Above the roof, the boys' eyes widened. Breo whispered, "On my count. 1, 2, 3. Boo!" The trumpet blast ripped through the peaceful morning like lightning. Women leaped from their seats. Men ducked. Children screamed. But no one reacted faster than Pastor Murray. His eyes bulged. His jaw dropped. His Bible slipped from his hands and hit the floor. It is time," he shouted. Without a second thought, he bolted toward the door, coat flying behind him like a superhero's cape. But as he squeezed through the narrow doorway, swift, his coat got stuck on the door handle. "Leave it, leave it, leave it," he cried, shaking it violently. When it wouldn't come loose, he burst out of it like a chicken escaping a snare and sprinted down the hill barefoot. Congregation members rushed outside, trying to understand what was happening. Pastor, come back." But Pastor Murray was already a distant figure, shoeless, coatless, bibless, running faster than he had ever run in his life. While the congregation tried to calm themselves, the boys in the tree were frozen in fear. Dino swallowed hard. Maybe we overdid it." Breo whispered, "Just a little." They climbed down quietly and slipped home unnoticed. Meanwhile, no one saw Pastor Murray again, not that day, not that week, not ever. Rumors spread. He went to the mountains to pray. No, he moved to another village. My cousin's neighbor saw him boarding a bus. But the truth remained a mystery. His coat stayed hanging on that door handle long after. A week later, guilt began eating the boys alive. They couldn't sleep. They couldn't eat. Every trumpet sound from the school band made them jump. Finally, they confessed to their parents, who marched them straight to the church council. The elders sat sternly. "You made the pastor run away from his calling," Elder Kipchers said. "But we were just joking," Breo Et muttered. "Your joke became a prophecy," Elder Tabutit added, shaking her head. The punishment was swift and memorable. They were ordered to sweep the church compound every day for a month and were banned from touching anything shaped like a trumpet and going closer to that mango tree. Pastor Murray never returned, but his sermons did not die. The villagers often laughed as they remembered his dramatic escape, but they also repeated his message. The villagers still believe that one day the trumpet will sound for real, and no one should be scared but be ready. Breo and Dino grew into responsible young men, retelling the story with embarrassment and humor whenever they taught younger children not to play dangerous jokes. As for the small wooden church, it kept standing, quiet, peaceful, and trumpet-free. Well, most of the time.